Calling the meeting to order at 7 p.m. For the audience here today, the City of Glendora utilizes a hybrid meeting format to allow for participation both in person and virtually. In consideration of others and the business being conducted tonight, please silence your cell phones or any other electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. This is a public meeting for the City of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here tonight. Madam Clerk, will you please conduct roll call?
Thank you. So now, at this time, I will conduct an oral roll call and request that each commissioner respond with present when their name is called. Commissioner Basara,
Present.
Commissioner Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Farber,
Present.
Vice Chair Norwood,
Present.
Chair Koss.
Present.
All members are present. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, Commissioner Basara will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone wish to reorder or add to the agenda tonight? Okay. At this time, I would like to open public comment period. I now invite members of the public to address the Planning Commission. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once, both on and off agenda items. All questions should be directed through the presiding officer. This is your time to speak uninterrupted. If you're in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording administrator before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium, state your name and the subject matter that you wish to discuss. If you are participating via Zoom, select the raise hand icon in Zoom before the close of public comment. Once recognized, you will receive a request to unmute, state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. Do we have any public comment cards?
At the moment, I've received one, but it's for the public hearing of number 4. Do we have anybody here who would like to speak on public comment? None. Anybody on Zoom that would like to participate? If you could click on the raise hand right icon. We have none. And we have no emails as well.
Okay, then at this time, I close public comment period. At this time, I would like to invite the commissioners if they have a statement or report. So Commissioner Basara.
No, I have nothing at this time.
Okay, Commissioner Davis,
Nothing.
Commissioner Faber,
Nothing at this time.
Vice Chair Norwood.
I have nothing to add. I'm just mentioning that I have a waiting for meeting owner to join on our computer, so
We are having issues, so unfortunately I can't control that tonight. Sorry.
Okay, and I have no statement tonight. I would like to invite Community Development Director Jeff Kugel and City Attorney William Winder to provide a statement.
Nothing except Happy New Year.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Bill Winder. I've been the city attorney at the City of Glendora for going on to 5 years and never attended one of your meetings. So I appreciate this opportunity to meet with you and observe your actions and provide whatever legal assistance you may need tonight. So Happy New Year and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you and welcome to our meeting. Are there any special items at this time? No. Okay. Item 2, consideration of a resolution to approve a non-conforming lot development plan review to allow a non-conforming front and rear yard setbacks, hillside grading exceeding 150 cubic yards, and construction of a 2-story single-family residence with an attached garage at a vacant lot on Wildwood Canyon Drive, AIN 8860-003-021, Glendora, California. Project number PLN 220039. Applicant Sean Rodriguez, property owner Edward and Martha Rodriguez. I now declare the public hearing open. I invite Associate Planner Natalie Espinoza to present the staff report.
He's actually participating via Zoom. Natalie, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Next slide, please. Good evening, Chair Kloss and members of the commission. Tonight before you is a request for approval of an application for a non-conforming lot development plan review to allow non-conforming front and rear setbacks, hillside grading exceeding 150 cubic yards, and construction of a 2-story single-family residence with an attached garage on a vacant lot. Next slide. The vacant lot is located on the north side of East Wildwood Canyon Drive, across the street from 2455, 2465, and 2475 East Wildwood Canyon Drive. The property has a general plan land use designation of hillside very low density residential and a zoning designation of rural hillside residential. Next slide. The existing lot consists of undeveloped land with the exception of a paved pad that has been used for parking. The proposed house will be located on the eastern portion of the lot and will be constructed on split level pads to minimize grading. 2 driveways are proposed, each leading into separate garages. Next slide. The project complies with most of the development standards for residential development in the rural hillside residential zone, except for the minimum lot depth and required front and rear setbacks. The reduced setbacks are required to accommodate development. Due to this, a non-conforming lot development plan review is required. Next slide. The project consists of 2 levels with common areas, bedrooms, and a garage on the upper level, and the lower level consisting of a large garage. The proposed architectural style is a contemporary style with ranch architectural elements, which includes a hipped metal roof, split level floor plan, open concept layout, large windows, excuse me, wide eave overhangs, smooth stucco, horizontal siding, and stone veneer. This is the proposed street elevation. Next slide. The north side rear elevation. Next slide. The side elevation. Next slide. And the east side, the east elevation. Next slide. On December 22nd, 2022, notices were sent to property owners within a 500-foot radius, and the notice was also published in the San Gabriel Valley Examiner. Next slide. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt the categorical exemption and adopt the approval resolution. Staff recommends the approval of this project, and I believe the architect is also available via Zoom, and I believe that the applicant is there. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I invite the applicant, Sean Rodriguez, to address the commission. You will have 10 minutes.
He didn't have any comments. I know the architect may have had a couple questions. Was it as far as the project goes?
Do you have any comments or any statement right now about the project or any information?
As far as,
Just anything you want to share with us?
no, I mean, it's been a long process. We've actually gone through multiple planners and kind of condensed the project. And then whatever the city's asked for, we just try to get it to fit on that piece of property. We keep moving it, shrinking it, and this is kind of where we've met a happy medium. So I'm just hoping to move forward with it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite any members of the public to address the commission to provide public testimony on this item. You're limited to 3 minutes speaking once on this item. Once recognized, advance to the podium, state your name, and direct any questions through the presiding officer. Do we have any public comment on this?
I have received none, as well as no emails. Oh, we have one on Zoom.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Victor,
Hello?
can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Victor Lockett. I am the architect of the project. As Sean had mentioned, Marty, Ed, and Sean, we have been working for several years with the project. Several planning staff in trying to come up with, I guess, parameters for this non-conforming lot for that would best fit not only the program that the client was requiring, but also, you know, try to conform as best we could with the lot condition that we have. As Sean mentioned, it has been a pretty long process. You know, we're anxious. It's been a long process getting to this point, so we're anxious to hear any sort of resolution. So I'm just here answer any questions specific to the project. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other public comments?
I have none on Zoom. Nobody else here wishing to speak.
Okay. So at this time, I will invite discussion and deliberation from the commissioners. Commissioner Basara, comments, questions?
I do have a couple of comments. So it looks like the project went down by like 50%. It was initially supposed to be 7,000 square feet and now it's 3,600 square feet. Oh, there's a total of 7,000.
Are you talking about the original plans or the ones you currently have?
I'm just looking at the application that was initially submitted and then planning staff, it looked like the project had been reduced down to 3,600.
I believe that's just living area. Down below the garage is 30. I don't have the exact number. Victor, do you have the number? If you can be heard or not.
The garage is approximately 32, I believe.
That's where the 7,000 is coming, just under 7,000 is coming from.
Oh, I see. Okay, so there's 3,600 square feet of living space and then a 3,700 square foot garage.
Correct, about that.
Okay. And that's under the, how tall is the property? How high is the,
I believe we've met all the heights requirements,
oh, what is it?
20. I think we're under that.
Feet
though.
high?
Yes,
25. And the project has been reduced from, again, I could mention this has been a long process. So we have reduced from the original design. The design has gone down considerably, you know, and now, you know, well within the lot coverage calculations and that were provided by the civil engineer. So.
Okay.
I believe Natalie had something to say.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Becerra. On the PowerPoint, if you go back a couple slides before the elevations. Thank you. On the development standards, it's the third one from the top. It indicates that the building height is 25 feet.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Davis.
Did I read that correctly? It's a 15-car garage?
I don't know that's what's gonna end up as. There's 3 upstairs and then I think there was probably give or take 10 downstairs.
Correct. The way that I calculated it is based on our development code's definition for the width of a 2-car garage. So I took the width of that garage and the length and I divided by 20 by 20, which is actually a 2-car garage. So that's actually what it comes out to.
By square footage?
Correct.
Okay.
But not by turnaround space. And then on top of that, we have
Correct.
a hammerhead on the north driveway. So we lose that space. That has to remain open.
Right. Yeah, that's a LA County fire. Is this a potential for a junior ADU? I guess I'm asking staff at this point. With a garage that big, is there a portion of that can be converted to a junior ADU at some point?
Our code does indicate that all garages can be converted to an ADU as long as the fire department's okay with the access, but that's really going to be up to the property owner.
Right. That's all I have right now.
Okay, Commissioner Faber.
Yeah, I guess the couple questions or discussion points I want to talk about too is, so it looks like you're developing about a third of the property,
Correct.
and then the other 2/3 is gonna be untouched.
It has been for 50 years now.
And so I guess my whole thought process was if, if we're developing a whole property, is there some need to have the rest of the property developed either through a landscaping plan or whatever else would be to that area, right? It looks like it's been untouched. There's
We actually maintain it. We backed the Wildwood Ranch project, which I don't know that's kind of in limbo right now as well.
Yeah.
So we maintain that basic fire break to the road,
Hmm.
just where our property stretches as of right now.
for the property. Yep.
But until that really moves forward, I don't know the nature of how that's gonna end up playing out.
Yeah, the landscaping on their slope, but I'm more talking about your property, right?
Yeah, but I still have I'm surrounded by eucalyptus and black walnut on that side of the hill.
Hmm.
But we just literally strip it every year to keep us compliant with the fire department.
And then the parking that's there, that parking area,
We own 2465 across the street.
so that's
That's parking for that house currently.
house. So there's no real easement for that house. It's just
No.
you own both
We own both lots.
properties, so you just allow it. to be
Correct.
parked there. Okay. Yeah, so those were only, I don't know what you do about that. Only just two concerns, right? Because in theory, property, you don't own the rest of your ever, right? So if that parking is needed for that other property, is it worth putting something to that property, an easement into that and or what other?
No, we're just gonna remove it because there's two driveways on that right now. Yeah, we just did it for convenience for guests and stuff.
Gotcha. So ultimately it goes away.
It's going away.
So the parking really is not a thing. It's just more about if there is any landscaping that could be done to make the rest of the property nicer. It would be the only, I don't know, just statement, comment. I have. So that's all I have for right now.
Okay, Vice Chair Norwood.
Is it again, this might be.
I think are you?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Is this a private road or is this a city?
It's a private road.
It's a private road.
Up in that section, we own both sides of the road, but it is private to Centerline.
Okay, so it's private and if I'm looking at it correctly, it is a septic that is going in.
Correct. There is no sewer up there at all.
And the existing hydrant is fed by
City,
city water.
and that's had a fire flow test on it
Okay,
a couple times now. So I know we have a current one.
that's the only questions I have. Thank you.
And I don't really have any questions at this time. So I'm going to go ahead and close public hearing. Thank you very much for your comments. At this time, I would like to request a motion.
I'll make a motion
Okay.
to approve as stated in the resolution.
Um,
I'll-
Second.
okay,
Okay, so we have a motion made by Vice Chair Norwood, seconded by Chair Cost. Is that correct?
no, I think Commissioner Bissara seconded.
Thank you very much.
Both staff recommendations, 1 and 2. Need to adopt the categorical exemption and adopt the resolution.
You stated only resolution. That's what he's asking.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay.
both 1 and 2.
Thank you.
So now conduct an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Basara,
Yes, and I would think that Marty Rodriguez would make a beautiful home up there.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Farber,
Yes, favorable.
Vice Chair Norwood,
Yes.
Chair Cross.
Yes, I also think it's going to be a pretty home. Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Our next item is consideration of a a long time coming, right? Okay, our next item is a consideration of a resolution to approve a conditional use permit to allow a gym, Logic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, use of certain property located at 1333 South Grand Avenue in Glendora. File number PLN 220054, applicant Anthea Peter Vallejo, property owner Yosef Perez. At this time, I'm declaring the public hearing open. I invite planning technician Alyssa Palayo Flores to present the staff report.
Good evening, Chair Koss and members of the commission. Before you tonight is the request for approval of a conditional use permit to allow a gym use at 1333 South Grand Avenue. Okay. The subject site is a 2,433 square foot tenant space located on the northwest corner of Grand and Gladstone within the Glendora Promenade Shopping Center. The shopping center is accessible from both Gladstone and Grand Avenue and is developed with an ample amount of on-site parking to accommodate a variety of retail, office, and restaurant uses located within the center. The proposed business is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym that will operate Monday through Sunday with classes offered in the morning and evening for various age groups and skill levels. A bulk of classes are offered during the week within the evening, beginning at 4 p.m. and ceasing around 8 p.m. A detailed class schedule breakdown has been included within the staff report for reference. The subject site is Zone C3 Retail and Commercial and has a general planned land use designation of general commercial. The surrounding area of the shopping center includes the Oakdale Memorial Cemetery to the south, AAA offices to the north, and a mix of single-family and multifamily residential uses to the east and west. Per the Glendora Municipal Code, a CUP is required to allow the operation of a gym within the C3 zone. Provided is the proposed and existing floor plan. As previously mentioned, the subject site is a 2,433 square foot tenant space. The requested CUP is to allow the operation of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym. As such, minor tenant improvements are proposed for the gym use. Interior alterations include the installation of a 1,350 square foot mat that will cover the floor area just adjacent to the west side entry to accommodate class sizes that will range from 5 to 20 students. Additionally, 2 new dressing rooms will be built within the rear of the space for students to utilize. Room 1 is proposed to be 98 square feet in size, and room 2 will be 114 square feet in size. Provided is a picture of this space facing east toward Grand Avenue. This area is where the mat will be located with a walkway from the entry doors running along the south side wall there. It is worth noting that the shown structural beams located in the middle of the proposed mat area will be covered by with foam pads. Right. So the provided photo was taken facing east toward the rear of the space. The proposed dressing rooms will be located within the northwest corner, so in that right corner within the image. Students will access the gym from the front doors located on the west side from the existing parking lot, which is accessible from both Grand Avenue and Gladstone Street. As for notices were mailed out to all property owners within a 500-foot radius and also published within the San Gabriel Valley Examiner. Staff has received no inquiries regarding the requested CUP. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt the categorical exemption and the Planning Commission resolution. The applicant and I are both available for any questions.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I invite the applicant Anthea Peter Vallejo to address the commission. You'll have 10 minutes.
I apologize if she has her own thing to say. I just want to clarify. The dressing rooms are not going to be new construction. We are planning on using wardrobes to create walls and then have those, what's the word? Attached to the floor and plywood behind so that it becomes a solid wall. So it doesn't move, but it's not going to interfere with any fire, electrical, plumbing, or any of that because the top above space of it will still be open, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I think that's it. Mhm.
Okay, great. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite members of the public to address the commission to provide public testimony. You are limited to 3 minutes speaking once on this item. Do we have any public comment?
I have received none. Do we have anybody on Zoom that wishing to speak? If you can select the raise icon. We have none, and I have no emails as well.
Okay, then at this time, I'm going to invite discussion and deliberation from the commissioners. Commissioner Basara?
Thank you. I think this would be an incredible addition to this shopping center because it's kind of quiet over there and the idea of having that gym there would be great. So that's what I have to say.
Great. Commissioner Davis?
Two quick questions, one for staff and one for the applicant. I'll start with the applicant. The poles, will they be padded? Okay. For staff, this shopping center is designated as C3. What is the designation for a gym of this type? Where I guess where I'm going with this is why do we need this? Why is this before us tonight? This sounds something very simple that could be done over the counter.
Yeah, you'd think, but the municipal code on the use table, when it comes to gyms and health centers, it just says gym. And this was the closest thing in the use table to that. So things, any type of karate studio, gym, fitness center, those typically are in the C3 zone, at least those are processed with a conditional use permit.
We also have an internal policy that we kind of make a cutoff of 15. So if it's more than 15, we say we're going to definitely say this is something that needs to come to the
More
commission.
than 15
Students
Students, they said
okay.
at a time in a class, because that's usually when we would interpret, like when parking issues might be coming into play and things like that.
The only reason gyms and health fitness centers, I think, became common in cities to apply a conditional use permit is related to the automobile. It's related to gyms have a tendency to generate a higher parking demand than
Okay.
general retail, and so they potentially have conflicts with other uses in the center, and so they're processed commonly by cities as conditional use permits. However, I don't disagree that for small gyms, it doesn't make sense for cities to do that.
Okay,
But-
yeah, that's what I was looking for, the method to the madness there. As far as parking goes, so I guess that's another question, leads me to another question. How is parking determined then?
I believe that for a gym, it requires a parking study. There's no actually parking requirement in the code for a gym. Is that correct?
No, yeah, but also it's also in this case, it's 20 students.
Yeah.
And that center's pretty quiet.
It's a lot of parking.
So
What
if
we
you
kind of
were-
determined, for a real scientific, we don't think we need one. It's just not necessary for that. for that
Okay, so
space.
this is a gut feel by staff, basically, to say, we think it'll be
If
fine.
If it was a
More of-
busier center, we would say we definitely would need one.
okay.
I'd call it a common sense determination.
Okay.
You have a 200,000 square foot center. There are some medical uses which tend to have higher demand, but mostly it's retail and general office. Based on staff observations of the use of the shopping center during hours where the gym would be in session, there doesn't appear to be a parking shortage. If we were, on the other hand, processing a 50,000 square foot LA Fitness or something like that, in that case, we would have required a more formal parking study to evaluate the demand for such a large percentage of the center versus such a small use like this.
Okay, perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Thank you.
Commissioner Faber?
I agree too. I think it'll be a great addition to that complex. So, sorry. I would agree too with that. It's going to be a great addition to that complex. So no comments from me.
Vice Chair Norwood?
No comments. Yeah, I think it's a great project and a great addition.
And I think I've been, that shopping center, I think has plenty of parking. It seems relatively quiet as it is now, so I don't think additional parking will be an issue. I think a martial arts studio is a great addition to that area, both for students and for adults. So at this time, I'm going to close public hearing and request a motion, and I will make a motion that we approve the project and adopt the categorical exemption.
Do
I'll
we have-
second.
Perfect. So we have a motion by Chair Cost, seconded by Commissioner Davis. I will not conduct an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Basara,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Farber,
Yes.
Vice Chair Norwood,
Yes.
Chair Cost,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0.
Excellent. Okay, item 4, consideration of a resolution to approve tentative parcel map number 83617 to subdivide an existing lot with 2 single-family residences into 2 separate individual lots on certain property located at 445 North Oak Drive, Glendora, California. Project number PLN 210027. Applicant Dmitry Kazakov, property owner John V. Cassia. At this time, I'm opening the public hearing and we are going to be continuing this item to the February 7th, 2023, the next planning commission meeting. However, I do understand there is a public comment.
Correct. So we have a public testimony.
So let's, okay, Lisa Long, would you come? You will have 3 minutes to address the commission.
Thank you. Good evening, and thanks for allowing citizens to speak on this. My name is Lisa Long, and I live at 903 West Milton Drive, which is in the neighborhood a couple blocks from 445 Oak Drive, I believe. And I just wanted you to consider greatly this decision and how it could potentially impact a magical place in our community. If you look at old maps, it's called Lefetra Park, and all of the lots in this area are 20,000. And it's just a lovely place. And if you allow the division of one of the lots, I think that greatly increases the chances that other lots will then, if they come before you, you'll be obligated to divide them. And then we may lose this magical area. Once we lose it, we can't get it back. And so I just encourage you to consider that. Anyone who purchases in this area did so with the knowledge that our lots are designated low density minimum, I believe 20,000 square feet. There are not many neighborhoods left like ours. If you, as I said, if you allow this, I'm afraid it would just occur and our neighborhood might be negatively impacted. I implore you to weigh the impact your decision will have on our neighborhood. I ask you to maintain the current zoning of low density, again, because anyone who bought in this area knows the zoning. Please respect the integrity of our neighborhood. If you have not had a chance to explore our neighborhood, I'd be happy to give you a tour, but please drive through it. And I encourage you to deny the requested change to the zoning of the property at 445 North Oak Drive. And I thank you very much for your thoughtful consideration.
Thank you. Thank you. So I understand we are continuing this item to the next meeting, but I'm curious, why are we continuing it? Are there things that still need to be worked out? Okay. Okay. So thank you. Go ahead.
So we asked no questions tonight at all? I'm curious about the property. Regardless of whether we voted yes, no, or maybe tonight or on February, is this not a property that would be eligible for an SB 10 lot split anyway?
It could be, which would be a different path, which would not involve a public hearing. The applicant chose to do the traditional subdivision route.
Could those lots then be divided again?
That could be the case.
I do have Natalie that wants to speak.
Oh, Natalie.
Natalie, do you want to chime in? I know
Yes.
this is your project.
Yes, it is. We did speak to the applicant who also spoke to the owner to see if he wanted to do an SB 9 application instead, and he opted not to. And just for clarification, it's not changing the zone. It's just dividing this lot into 2 with, they're both going to have a minimum of 20,000 gross square feet per lot. So the zoning is not changing and it'll still be minimum 20,000 square feet.
Okay, but where I'm going with that is if it went an SB 9 route and split the lot, those lots would not be eligible to be split again. Whereas if they just do a traditional lot split, those lots, right now, 1 lot becomes 2, but if you go SB 9, it could become 4.
I think that's right. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe the
I
city
just want to make
attorney.
sure I have my math correct. if I
Yeah,
ask.
so,
That is
so by
correct.
doing a traditional parcel map, so you have basically, he has the lots like an acre in size, so it's
Right.
twice the minimum lot size for the area. So he gets to, by going a traditional parcel map route, the owner takes advantage of having a large lot. He already has a house on each lot, the way that the property was constructed. So he ends up with under a parcel map with two conforming lots.
With a house, with one of the houses on each of the
And one of
lots.
the houses on each lot. If at some point in the future, those houses get demolished or he could, in theory, come back and do an SB9 lot split for each of those lots.
That's
So-
what I wondered. Okay.
So that I think that's a theoretical possibility, yeah.
And so when we continue this to February, I assume there'll be a public comment at that time as well, so that if people have concerns at that time, they'll be able to address, to bring them up again, correct? Okay.
Correct. And I think on any of these concerns, they need to be the ones that are important, the ones that are fact-based, based on an argument relative to what the development standards for the zone are, what the, legal requirements for a subdivision are. Does it have adequate utilities, or is there access to the property? Are the findings being met for any sort of discretionary decision that the commission is going to make? And then following whatever the law prescribes with respect to the application.
So your public hearing will be a full-blown public hearing.
Right. Okay. That's what I wanted. I just wanted to make sure there was going to be an opportunity at that meeting for the public if they had any comments to make them.
You can come back and testify again if she.
Okay.
wants.
Okay, great. Okay. Oh, so go ahead.
I guess I just had a couple of questions to clarify on it, even though we're gonna talk about it again. So the lot's 40,000 square feet, right? And the minimum you said is supposed to be 20,000 in that neighborhood already, so.
Yeah, the proposal would be creating lots that are consistent with the neighborhood pattern.
And there's already 2 homes that are on that development as it stands
Correct.
right now.
It wouldn't look any different. The homes would be, the lines going between the existing houses, the
And then
imaginary
would-
line.
Correct. There's no construction that is being proposed. It's just going to be splitting the lots to have individual lots where the 2 houses are located.
So potentially you could sell one and live in one,
Right.
or not sell a lot with 2 homes on it. And
Correct.
I guess the SB9 that Mark was talking about, right now you have one lot that could potentially be 4 residences. And if you split it, you could have 2 lots that could potentially be 4 each. Is that the gist of how the SB9 is working?
So so you could take an existing lot and you can split it and you get 2 units on each lot under SB9. Or you can take advantage of SB9 simply by building an additional unit. So you can get either way, whether you subdivide it or you build additional units under SB9 allows you to get 4 units on a single family lot anywhere in the city. So it's not just here.
Okay. All right. So oh, sure. I didn't realize it. Okay.
Is the minimum lot size, the zoning is it set at 20?
Yeah, I believe it's the zoning is E7 20,000.
Correct. Yes.
If you're doing a traditional subdivision, yes, like this
So-
one, that'd be 20,000
So
square foot.
so the zoning that's been in place for many decades is a minimum lot size of 20,000 square feet
In this particular zoning area,
for this area, yes.
for this area.
Yeah, and there are other parts of the city that are zoned E7 20,000, but this is just one of them.
And just to confirm, once he utilizes his SB9 rights or whatever we call them, it's a one-time deal. He couldn't go back and SB9 the single lot now into 2 and then turn around and try to SB9 them each
Correct.
lot into, okay, just clarifying.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So we will continue that item to our February 7th Planning Commission meeting. So at this time, looking at item 5, does anyone wish to have any comment on item 5? Okay. Which is the minutes from our December 6th, 2022 meeting. So can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
And I'll second the motion, approve the minutes.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Basara, seconded by Vice Chair Norwood. I will now conduct an roll call vote to approve consent calendar item as presented. Commissioner Basara,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Farber,
Yes.
Vice Chair Norwood,
Yes.
Chair Cost,
Yes,
motion carries 5-0.
thank you. At this time, there are no member agenda items. There are no unfinished business items. There are no new business items. At this time, I invite the commissioners if they have any closing comments to make. Commissioner Basara?
I do. It's January and there are some new laws on the books for planning, including AB 2097. I would like the commissioners to be updated or like advised on how we're supposed to address those when it comes before us in the future.
We've already anticipated that and we're thinking of doing that. We're just going to be working with our city attorney staff to make that happen.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
and then,
there's a
well, yeah,
couple.
there's a couple others, but that one just hit me like right away. I was like, what?
What is the number on that?
EB 2097. Okay, great. Commissioner Davis, comments?
Nothing. Happy
Okay,
New Year.
thank you. Commissioner Faber.
Nothing, just Happy New Year.
All right. Vice Chair Norwood?
Nothing to add tonight. Thank you.
Okay, and I also have no comments. So at this time, we will adjourn the meeting at 7:41 PM.